Hello? Hi, Sherelle. Are you still there? Hello? Sherelle? Hi, Sherelle. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Anybody? Nothing?
Nothing.
No members? They have a state task force meeting this morning too, so I don't know if some of them are on that call. But I text everybody though.
Oh, okay.
They haven't text back yet. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna wait and go back on mute.
Okay.
Good morning. This is Delegate Charles Newton.
Good morning. This is Lorene.
Lorraine, I'm sorry. We are actually, Honorable James is chairing the Title II subcommittee. Both me and Honorable Otto So are on that subcommittee. We're almost done. And then Honorable Eugene So has joined in on the call as well. So the entire Law and Order Committee is on that call. So we're going to go ahead and start at 10:30. I'm going to announce it to Honorable James to let him know that we have to start at 10:30.
Okay,
So I'm just letting you know. Thank you.
okay, all right, thanks. Darrell, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Mr. Delmore, did you hear that?
Oh,
Okay, 10:30, go.
oh.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello? Lorraine? Hello? Lorraine? Hello? Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. This is Lorene.
Okay, thanks, Lorraine. We just got done. We just adjourned at the Title II subcommittee. So I believe Honorable So, and Honorable James will be right on. Do we, let's just go ahead and, do we have, did you send out all of the journals?
Madam Chair, yes, Sherelle did.
Okay. You might
Not
want to
all of it.
resend them.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
not all of it, but just, there's like 10 of them that I put on the agenda, and the rest will be at the meeting.
Okay, go ahead and send those ones that are on the agenda for today. And then do we have the, Madam AG and Director Delmar on the line?
Mr. Delmer was on the line earlier, and I believe, Jennifer Henry will be on
Okay.
the line.
Okay,
Maureen, this is Doreen McCollum here as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
okay, so, if you just give us maybe about, 3 minutes, I'll go ahead and text the committee to let them know that we're waiting on the other line. That way they are aware of it.
Okay.
You had an answer?
All right.
Good morning. Good morning, committee members. Vice Chair on the line.
Good morning, Vice Chair. We're just waiting on Honorable James and Honorable Eugene So.
What meeting is this one?
All right, so Honorable So is on the line. So with that, we do have a quorum. Honorable James, are you on the line? Okay, well, we do have a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and start. This is the Law and Order Committee for the 24th Navajo Nation Council. This is a regular meeting, a teleconference. Today is November 9th, 2020. It is now 10:31. For those of you who are listening in and those who are getting ready to present, we do apologize. The Law and Order Committee was on a different meeting that we originally started at 7:00 a.m. this morning, and we just now completed, and that was the Title II Subcommittee meeting, which Honorable James was chairing. So with that, we are calling this meeting to order at 10:32. Lorraine, can you go ahead and assist us with the roll call, please?
Okay, thank you. LOC members, Roll call for LLC, Honorable Eugene Charles Newton,
Charles Newton is present from Shiprock, New Mexico.
Honorable Vince James,
Delegate Vince James present. Thank you.
Honorable Eugene So,
Sato, Minachi, Arizona. Okay.
Honorable Otto So,
Good morning, I am here. Thank you.
Honorable Edmund Yazi, Madam Chair, you have 4 members present.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. With that, we did have an invocation that was offered this morning by Honorable Rick Nez at the Title II Subcommittee. So I think we're just going to go ahead and keep that prayer going. So we won't be calling for prayer here at Law and Order Committee. We are at item number 2, recognizing guests and visiting officials. Do we have any other delegates or on the line with us at this time? Okay, with that, we do have presenters. Can we go ahead and call the presenters who are currently on the line? Thank you.
Madam Chair, do you want me to read the agenda?
Yes, let's go ahead and move down since there's no visiting officials or any guests. We'll move down to item number 3, review and adopt the agenda. Lorraine, if you could read the agenda into record.
Okay, agenda of the Law and Order Committee, 24th Navajo Nation Council, regular meeting, teleconference, November 9th, 2020, 10 a.m. Presiding Honorable Eugene Charles Newton, Chairperson. Presiding Honorable Otto So, Vice Chairperson. Going down to number 1, call meeting to order, roll call invocation. Number 2, recognize guests and visiting officials. Number 3, review and adopt agenda. Number 4, review and adopt the journals. There's 10 journals. April 9th, April 22nd, April 27th, 2020, May 5th, May 13th, May 19th, May 22nd, 2020, June 1st, June 3rd, June 5th, 2020. Those are all on the agenda and they're ready to be adopted. Going to 5, receiving reports. A, report from Doreen McPaul, Navajo Nation Attorney General, Department of Justice, and Jesse Dalmar, Executive Director, Division of Public Safety, matters relating to hemp farming in Northern Agency. Going to be discuss letter to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court regarding Chief Justice confirmation hearing. C, others, 6, old business none, 7, new business none, 8, close the meeting, announcement and adjournment, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that reading, Lorraine. Committee members, can I get a motion for the agenda?
Motion.
Delegate James motion.
Motion made by Honorable Vince James. Can I get a second?
Eugene So.
Honorable Eugene So seconds that. If there are any questions, comments, or any amendments that need to be made to the agenda, now is the time to raise them.
Madam Chair, this is Doreen.
Yes, Ms. McCall.
I just wanted to, for purposes of the agenda, just let the committee know that I can give a general update about the hemp litigation, but to the extent the committee wants to go into other non-public litigation information, I would request that we go into executive session for that portion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. McCall. So with that, committee members, since there are no questions, no comments, or any amendments that need to be made, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Lorraine, can you assist us with the vote, please?
Sure.
Honorable Otto So.
Before we vote, I guess the request of the Attorney General, let's maybe have a special meeting and just geared to this hemp report related to the litigation, because we have an agenda, and it's gonna prolong, and let's maybe work with the committee members and see if we can get a special meeting, and just geared to attorney to Madam Attorney General's update related to the hemp litigation, or we could have a I guess a consultation meeting directly with Department of Justice related to the hemp litigation. That way, it could be on a secure line. It's a non-public. Right now, this committee meeting is a public matter. It's a public meeting. So I hate to go into executive session in the midst of this public meeting. So I think a proper protocol would be like a consultation meeting, or directly just with the Department of Justice. That way, the meeting could be closed. This is my concern, and if that could happen, I would recommend that Lorraine work on time, and that way we can meet with Madam Attorney General and her staff and receive the update pertaining to the litigation. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll have that discussion when we get to the topic on the agenda. So with that, committee members, we do have a motion and a second for the agenda presented to us today. Lorraine, can you assist us with the roll call vote, please?
Okay, Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Green, Delegate James.
Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Good job, Doctor. Thank you.
Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
Green. I vote green.
Honorable Eben Yazzie, how do you vote? Madam Chair, you have three in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting, and 1 absent.
Okay, with that, committee members, we have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting. 1 is the chair, 1 is absent. That's Honorable Edmund Yazzie. So with that, this agenda is hereby adopted. We'll move down to item number 4, review and adopt the journals. We do have, I believe it's 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 10 journals that we do have to approve back from April 9th, 2020, April 22nd, 2020, April 27th, 2020, May 5th, 2020, May 13th, 2020, May 19th, 2020, May 22nd, 2020, June 1st, 2020, June 3rd, 2020, and June 5th, 2020. All of these journals, they were sent to us. I believe that, did you send them again, Lorraine?
Madam Chair, I asked Sherelle to send them again. I'm not too sure Sherelle sent them. Sherelle, did you send them again? Sherelle?
Team members, yeah, I did forward it. Just checking to make sure it went through.
Are we still on? Hello?
I'm here. This is Sherelle.
We hear you, Chair.
Okay. Sherelle, we haven't received the email yet.
It's giving me a hard time trying to forward it back out. I'll send it shortly.
Madam Chair, I'm gonna
Yes,
motion
Honorable.
to, I'm gonna motion to accept all the 10 journals since it has been already emailed to us. So I'm gonna make that motion. Thank you.
Okay. So there is a motion on the floor to accept all 10 journals. Committee members, have you received those journals? Committee members, just so we are on the same page here, we did receive these documents that were sent to us on, I believe, actually, Sherelle, I don't think we ever got those documents. The only one that I'm showing in my email is April 9th, April 22nd, and April 27th. Those are the only 3 that we have received.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'm still looking through my emails too, and I did forward to all the LC members too. So there was like 25 of them, as I recall, and I sent it to you, and I asked if I can put the whole thing on there, but we just no. That's what
Lorraine,
I
I
did.
think you're cutting out.
Okay, let me check them all together. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you were cutting in and out there, Lorraine. I don't know if it was just on my end, but you were cutting in and out.
Yeah, like I was saying, there was like 25 of them that were sent out by Sherelle, and I did send them out to all the members too. I was trying to look through my email right now, and it's kind of slow right now.
Okay, I see it. I found it. It was sent by Sherelle on Thursday, October 15th at 11:57 a.m. And it was sent to myself, Honorable Vince James, Honorable Otto Stowe, Honorable Edmund Yazzie, and Lorraine Spencer. Michelle Cook were CC'd on that email. So we do have these journals in our possession, committee members. There has been a motion to accept all 10 of these journals. So with that, committee members, are we are we okay with doing one motion, one vote to accept all 10 journals? Or should we do each journal individually?
Motion of privilege.
Honorable Eugene, so go ahead.
You mentioned everybody except me with regards to the members of the LOC. Is it or not?
Honorable Eugene, so I did mention your name. I said myself, Honorable Vince James, Honorable Otto So, Honorable Eugene So, and Honorable Edmund Yazzie were sent this on October 15th, 2020 at 11:57 a.m.
Thanks. I did receive it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So we do have these journals in our email. So now the question is, should we vote for all 10 at one time, or should we do them individually? Because there is a motion on the floor right now to accept all 10 journals.
Madam Chair, I second the motion
Yeah.
with all.
Okay,
Or
okay.
else this one take us 2 days going through it.
Motion made by Honorable Otto So, second by Honorable Eugene So, to accept, to adopt the journals for April 9th, 2020, April 22nd, 2020, April 27th, 2020, May 5th, 2020, May 13th, 2020, May 19th, 2020, May 22nd, 2020, June 1st, 2020, June 3rd, 2020, June 5th, 2020. So with that, if there's no other questions or comments, we'll proceed forward to the vote. Lorraine, can you please do a roll call vote?
Okay. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Delegate James votes green. Thank you.
Honorable Vince James votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Thank you.
Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Otto So.
I vote green.
Honorable Otto So votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. Madam Chair, you have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, and 2 not voting. 1 is a woman, and Edmund Yazzie is absent.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. So with that, committee members, the journals are hereby, all 10 journals are hereby accepted. We'll move down to item number 5, receiving reports. We do have a report from Doreen McTall, Navajo Nation Attorney General, Department of Justice, and also Jesse Delmar, the Executive Director, Division of Public Safety, matters relating to hemp farming in the Northern Agency. We did get a request from Ms. McTall to ask that that we go into executive session to discuss this matter since it's still in litigation. Honorable Otto So did make the recommendation that we schedule a separate time and date to have this discussion. I believe that that is in order. We can proceed forward to another date and another time to have this executive session meeting. For those people who are listening in on the World Wide Web, this issue is still in litigation, and per the I guess the advice that has been given to counsel, we cannot discuss this case in open. We cannot discuss the litigation issues and what is happening at this point because it is in litigation. So with that, committee members, we can get a general update today. Sorry, excuse me. We can get a general update today, but it will be very general. Or what we can do is we can, well, before I proceed, do we have Troy on the line with us?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Honorable Otto So.
This is I guess my reasoning is that the whole thing is still in litigation, and although an order is issued, and although that's public document, but Department of Justice is suing individuals now. So I don't want to really discuss the issue of what's really going on and try to compromise what Department of Justice is doing. People will turn around and try to blame us to say that we are the one that is pushing this forth. And then again, Madam Attorney General is doing her jobs within what authority power she has to litigate this. So ipe go abas kinsen ako aban di beni ke osjo ka ba yakti ayo ba shinne. I know, like I said, let's have a whole separate consultation meeting where everything is closed. That way, we know where it's at. Other than that, if public information is out there, I guess Madam Attorney General should have got information out to the public to educate them on the current order. What is current law and what the order is doing, instead of going through the council to try to get have us educate the public. That's the way I'm viewing this at this time. But maybe a press release from the Attorney General to the Navajo people in that region relating to what the order is and what can be done and what cannot be done.
Thank you.
Madam,
Honorable Otto So. Yes, Dana, go ahead.
thank you. I just wanted to let you know that I do believe Troy is on the line, but he may be having some connection problems. So if you, so the question you wish to answer, have Troy answer, I can address that. But I don't know what the question is.
Thank you, Dana. Right now, we do have on 5A on the agenda, we have a report from Doreen McPaul, Navajo Nation Attorney General, Department of Justice, and Jesse Delmar, Executive Director, Division of Public Safety, regarding matters relating to hemp farming in the Northern Agency. This was supposed to be a report on the issues here in the Northern Agency. Doreen, Madam AG actually did request that if the report is given, that it's going to be a very general report. And she did ask that if we want a more in-depth report, that we go into executive session. And so we did not put on the agenda that we would be going into executive session, but because of the ongoing litigation that is currently in place now regarding the hemp farming, there are some information that obviously has to be shared only with counsel. So at this time, Honorable Otto So did also make the recommendation that we schedule a different time, and that it be an executive session, and that we get this information from Ms. McPaul and also from Mr. Delmar regarding the hemp farming in the Northern Agency. An item is on the agenda. And so again, the motion made by Honorable Otto, well, I'm sorry, it's not a motion. Honorable Otto So did recommend that we just not discuss the report here, and that we just go ahead and schedule a separate time and date. So my question now to you, Dana, is we do have it on the report or on the agenda. How do we remove this and I guess publicly state that this issue will be discussed in executive session? If you could provide us some guidance on this, Dana, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you determine to bypass the general information, then I think you can, since you have gotten advice from the Attorney General that she thinks that she can only give general information now, which I'm sure I agree with. I think you can just you can do a couple of different things. One, I believe you could just accept the request from the Attorney General as a report, just accept that and move on. Or you could do a motion to amend your agenda and delete the report. But I will note that my understanding is that there is a public alert issued by public safety concerning Shiprock area. And so you could, if you wished, hear about that from Mr. Delmar, since it is a public alert. It's obviously public info. Thank you, Madam Chair. I hope that was helpful. You do have a number of options here. Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification, Dana. So committee members, Dana did present us several options. As chair, I cannot make a motion, nor can I second, but I'm open to how this committee would like to address this report at this time. So I'll leave it open. I'll leave the floor open for any suggestions or any motions that you would like to present at this time, committee members.
Madam Chair?
Honorable Otto So.
Well, I guess if it's just general information related to suing our own Navajo people, I guess that's what, if the Attorney General wants to provide that, let's go hear it. Like I said, the nation is suing our own Navajo citizens, and to me, it's a concern. Is Department of Justice brought in for that matter to take legal action against our own Navajo citizens? And I believe the Navajo people is part of our client, is the client of the Navajo Nation. And therefore, I have concerns, but if it's not gonna hurt her case against suing our Navajo citizens, I guess she can go ahead, provide that case or provide that information. But again, the Navajo Nation is suing our own Navajo citizens in a lawsuit. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, what I'm hearing is that this committee is open to getting a very general report from Madam AG regarding the press release that was sent out to the Navajo people, to the Navajo Nation, regarding the 33 individuals who have, I guess, who are currently going through the process now. So with that, committee members, I'm going to go ahead and Madam AG.
I'm here.
Okay, so with that, Madam AG, I'll go ahead and give you 20 minutes to make your presentation to the committee. When you're complete or when you're done, just let us know that you're done so that we can turn the floor back over to committee members. So with that, Madam AG, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members of the committee. Good morning. Just a brief update. We have three matters that I can provide some information on, and I think probably the most interesting matters have to deal with enforcement issues. And I know that our Acting Chief Prosecutor Jen Henry is on the line and has some matters to speak to with respect to that, as well as our Public Safety Director, Jesse Delmar. So I don't want to take up too much of the allotted time for the civil litigation matters, but just a brief update. As the committee is aware, the Department of Justice on behalf of the nation brought a complaint in Shiprock District Court in June against Mr. Dene Benali, as well as two of his corporations regarding the hemp farming activities in the Northern Agency, which is the subject of the report here today. And following a hearing in September, Judge Woody of the Shiprock District Court issued an order, temporary restraining order, as well as a preliminary injunction that enjoined further hemp cultivation activities. And the committee may be aware that the hemp activities remain ongoing in the Northern Agency. And so with respect to that case, we've been involved with getting an order to show cause issued by the court, and had a hearing set for that matter on October 28th. We presented affidavits and information to the court showing the ongoing activity. And at that hearing, the defendant, Dene Benali, raised several due process issues and questions about potential confinement from an order to show cause. And the court requested additional briefing at that hearing, and the hearing was continued, has not been reset, but all of the briefing for that has been complete. So that's the current status of that particular case. That there is an order in the nation's favor, and we are continuing on the civil front to try to enforce that tribal court order. We also have a second case that involves our Division of Economic Development and Mr. Benali and hemp cultivation. And also in June, Department of Justice on behalf of Division of Economic Development filed a complaint for forcible entry and detainer against Mr. Benali for his unauthorized entry and use of the RV park there in Shiprock. Mr. Benali had previously had a BIA business site lease to operate that RV park. However, that lease was canceled by the BIA in 2011, and possession of that site reverted back to the Navajo Nation. And in April of this year, Mr. Benali re-entered the RV park without the nation's permission and began to use the property for the illegal hemp cultivation activities. And we did have a hearing on this case in September, and Mr. Benali at that hearing admitted to occupying the RV park as well as to drilling wells on that site without a permit. And he claimed that he still had a valid lease for the premises. His argument was that the BIA had no authority to cancel his lease, and he also claimed to have a fundamental right to occupy that land. And Shiprock District Court found both of those arguments unpersuasive, and on September 23rd, the court granted a judgment in favor of the Division of Economic Development and against Mr. Benali for forcible entry related to that business site. After the hearing, Mr. Benali filed a notice of appeal with the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, and that matter has been fully briefed before the Supreme Court as of October 30th, and so we are just awaiting a decision from the court on that appeal and motion to dismiss. And then finally, on October 28th, the Department of Justice, again on behalf of the Navajo Nation, sued 33 farmers for illegally growing hemp in the Shiprock area. And the court is still processing that case, and none of those defendants have been served with a copy of the complaint. But one of the important things about this particular case is that the Shiprock District Court order, the preliminary injunction, and the TRO prohibits Mr. Benali and any officers, agents, servants, employees, or other persons that are in active concert with or participation with Mr. Benali from growing or cultivating hemp on the Navajo Nation. So this particular complaint against all known farmers who are growing hemp and or marijuana in violation of Navajo law. And the complaint alleges that these individual defendants possess or control Navajo lands that are being used to illegally grow, produce, or sell industrial hemp and or marijuana. So that's the current status of the 3 civil litigation matters. And I would like to defer the rest of the time to Ms. Jennifer Henry as well as Mr. Delmar to talk about the enforcement issues from the criminal and law enforcement perspective. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Henry?
Good morning. This is Ms. Henry. I just wanted to let you, the LOC members, know I did send out an email earlier this morning when I thought I wasn't going to be able to attend the meeting, but my hearings wound up early. So in addition to what Ms. McPaul reported, the Office of the Prosecutor has been continuing to follow up with enforcement of the preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order through criminal means. So we do have 1 aggravated assault, 2 batteries upon a peace officer, 2 conspiracy, 16 interfering with judicial proceedings, 1 obstruction of justice, 1 possession of marijuana, and 1 unlawful carrying of a deadly weapon complaints filed in an attempt to enforce the preliminary injunction. As the committee knows, what happens is we file complaints with the court, and then the court issues criminal summons, and then those summons have to be served. So what we have been noticing is a pretty long delay between the time we file the complaint and that the court dockets the complaint and issues a summons. So many of these are pending summons being issued by the court. Some of them have had summons forwarded to PD and are awaiting service, and some have been served. I noticed that several of these are coming up for arraignment today, and I'd be happy to give an update after those arraignments occur. 8 of those total complaints are against non-Navajo defendants, so we'll see how those goes. In addition, the Office of the Prosecutor sought a search warrant in late September. It was executed by Navajo PD, and the application, the underlying affidavit, and the search warrant itself have been sealed by the court. So I am not able to tell the committee more in open session, but can certainly share additional information in executive session about that particular search warrant. So those are all ongoing, and then that's sort of just the criminal side of the enforcement. And I would defer the rest of the time to Mr. Delmar.
Thank you, Jan.
Mr. Delmar?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, the Vice Chair, and also the committee. Thank you. And good morning, Madam AG, and Jan again. And the other side of enforcement is from the federal side. And I did have a conversation with the U.S. Attorney's Office this morning that some federal agents, some regional officers and Navajo police, they are executing federal search warrants at this point in time. And that the U.S. Attorney's Office, Kyle Maybach, Assistant U.S. Attorney from New Mexico, did tell me that it's okay to mention that there's federal search warrants that are being executed in Shiprock at the farm as we speak. So I understand that we have it secured right now, and then we are dealing with the search warrants as we speak. And the operation is going to be this week, and then I really don't know, 3 to 4 days max. So I just want to report that in general that there's federal search warrants that are being executed as we speak. Thank you.
Madam AG, Chief Prosecutor and Director Delmar, does that complete your presentation?
Madam Chair, just one thing I forgot to mention. On October 30th, everybody who's here on the report right now, Police Department, Jen's office, Department of Justice, as well as our Navajo Nation EPA and Honorable Ricky Nez provided an update at the San Juan chapter for the community on October 30th. So that was the one detail regarding the hemp farming in the Northern Agency that I neglected to mention. But with that, I have nothing further. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Madam AG. So with that, committee members, it sounds like the report is completed. Are there any questions at this time for Madam AG, for Acting Chief Prosecutor Jennifer Henry, and for Director Delmar?
That's it, Madam Chair.
Honorable Eugene So?
I've got a little question regards to what kind of a lease does Mr. Benali have in his possession in growing whatever he wants to grow, and what location in regards to my former job as a grazing representative for I don't know how many years, maybe 32 or 34. And there is a contract. That's how I see it on the Arizona side. BIA, you make a contract with the BIA branch of natural resources. They call them all different kind of names now. It's branch of natural resource now. The contract, when you put your name on it, is educated to you with whatever knowledge you have at the time, maybe in the 40s, 50s, that you had to have a fence posts at so many feet and how many wires and how strong they have to be. And to change your irrigation within your area and to cultivate no more than 2 years, you have to keep it up. That's what is you obey to. I mean, you agree to it, and you put your John Henry on it. And when you sign it, the BIA will sign it too. So from then on, that's an agreement between two people, which it became a Western law. Before then, it was Title I law. So now, when Mr. Benali is saying that BIA don't have no authority, I was wondering if I was a lawyer, what would I use? A contract he signed, or is it different in New Mexico? Does it have a different name though? So that would be my question. If it's the same as Navajo Nation, Arizona side, then you didn't agree. If what you agreed, I mean, you violated it, or you, like, how do you call that, breach of contract? I guess my grandpa always calls that, because we always had breach to chew on. So anyway, that's my question, of course, of what is he standing on, and I was wondering why there are some situations that happen within the Chinle regards to land issue. I don't know. I think there was a layman's term. I'm speaking Nez versus Hunter. I think where the land was in question, and it went over to hearings and hearings of appeal, Indian appeal. I think somewhere in Washington, somewhere. There have some members on the board that sided with the Title I. And it seems like it's a kind of a situation for the lawyers to fight on that Benali land. The only thing is that he's not cultivating what is legal. I know corn is legal until you boil it into liquor. So, so I know some others, I reckon, but that's a question that I really want to know, because that if the Indian hears of an appeal cited with the Title I regards to the land which owned the National Park Service, and I was wondering if those lawyers know about these kind of, I guess they call them case laws. I don't know. So that's my question. Shomaya, sorry. Thank you.
Madam AD?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Delegate So, for the question that you've raised here. So regarding the lease issue that I mentioned, this is with respect to the RV park. Mr. Bernali in 2005 had a business site lease from the BIA to operate that RV park. I want to just note that it was for purposes of the RV park and not to operate a hemp empire. And when the BIA canceled that lease in 2011, Mr. Benali appealed that through both the federal administrative process and through the federal court process as well. And so the lease, as far as every court who's looked at this is concerned, was canceled in 2011. And importantly, Mr. Benali admitted at the hearing before Judge Woody and Shiprock that he has not made any lease payments since the lease was canceled. So despite his claims before the court this year that he believes he still has a valid lease, he certainly has not acted in accordance with that belief by making the payments that are due under the lease. So that, I hope that answers your question with respect to the lease. Thank you.
Committee members, are there any other questions at this time?
Madam Chair?
Honorable Otto So?
Yes, I just would like to request the three individuals, Madam Attorney General, Jennifer Henry, and Public Safety, to provide a written document to the committee. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Otto. So I think that is a great idea. I think that if we could get a document, Madam AG, coming from the prosecutor's office and also from your office as well, informing the delegates of the case, and then maybe asking if we should schedule a meeting to be given an update via teleconference, but also an executive session. That may be a good way to go, because I know that there are other delegates who are interested in what is going on. And Mr. Delmar, I will say also that I live down the farm. The nearest hemp farm is less than a quarter of a mile from me. If I walk out of my house and I step on the porch, I can see the hemp farm. So this morning, there were probably about 12 vehicles that drove by. Sheriff, San Juan County Sheriff, the state, Navajo Nation Police Department, and also unmarked vehicles. And so I have been following the Navajo Nation Police Department Facebook page. So whenever anything is posted on their site regarding Shiprock, I do try to share it with my constituents. So I did share that information with people on Facebook that this was happening. So I do appreciate you sharing that information as well during this report. But I do believe that there are a lot of questions regarding the issues that are still happening here in the Northern Agency. I think that the written report would help alleviate some of the questions that maybe delegates do have at this time, or maybe even the concerns that they have. So is that something that we can get for this committee and also for the 24th Navajo Nation Council? And what is the time frame for receiving this written report? Madam AG, Director Delmar, Acting Chief Prosecutor Henry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that we can put together relatively quickly a joint report as requested by yourself and by Delegate Otto. So one question I want to ask, because I'm calling in on the teleconference line and I'm not sure if the report that we've provided this morning is available on the web. And I'm asking that question, and that will help determine the timing for it. I have some notes for the report that I gave this morning, but I probably will go back and listen to it if it's available to be able to prepare that report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam AG. Director Delmar?
Yes, ma'am. We can certainly do a report, but it probably won't be. We'll summarize what happened this week, and we can probably give you a status report at the end of at least this operation. There is going to be some additional time that we're going to be needing as far as securing the area. So it's going to go beyond the 4 days for sure, at least another maybe 24 hours. But at the end of that time, we can certainly put together a report. Yes, ma'am.
Great, thank you. So we'll give you a couple of weeks to get this report through it. I think there's going to be a lot of changes that will be happening during this time. So if you could both, Madam AG, Acting Chief Prosecutor Henry, and also Director Delmar, if you could have this report completed by November 25th by 5 o'clock, and that is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, then I think that would suffice. And then again, once that report is sent out, I think that we, the Law and Order Committee, can ask the 21st Navajo Nation Council if they are interested in hearing the litigation update in executive session, and then we can schedule a date and time for that as well. If you are both okay with that, or I'm sorry, if the three of you are okay with that, again, that would be November 25th by 5 o'clock p.m. If we could have that report by then so that we can send it out to the 24th Navajo Nation Council. Is that plenty of time?
Madam Chair, that works for me, and I think that Jesse indicated that that would work for him as well. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Wonderful. Yes, Honorable Otto.
You had the three individuals wanting to give us general information, and I don't think that it shouldn't take them long to provide a report on what they reported today. DOJ has about 35 staff, Attorney General office there, and Public Safety has a huge staff across the Navajo Nation. I don't know why that a report has to take that long. Just on today's report, not what's going to happen tomorrow or beyond. What was reported today is what I am asking, and I think they can get that out within a day or so. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Honorable Otto. So I believe the purpose of giving them that time is because currently today there are actions taking place here in Northern Agency, and there are also the litigation update that was provided by Madam AG saying that there were the summons that were being sent out to these individuals. And as we know, it does take a little bit of time for the court to put together this information. So really, it's not giving them the extra time to to write their report, it's giving them extra time to gather all of the information about what's happening today, and then to be able to provide a thorough report. And that was the reason why I recommended the November 25th as the day that the report, the written report should be in. So I apologize. That was, again, the reason is because it is going to take some time to gather the information and include them in the report.
Madam
So with
Chair,
that, committee member, yes, Honorable Otto, go ahead.
this is the reason why I didn't want to hear the case related to the hemp issue up in the area, because it was still being processed through the tribal legal system. And like I indicated, on what report was issued in this current meeting and what's on record is all I'm requesting. If other things related to what's going on right now, as we're speaking, that should come in a future report. But what they felt comfortable in providing the public here is what I am asking. Can you just, Department of Justice, you wanted to provide this report, and you want it to be on the agenda, and now you're saying let's wait. This is the very reason why I told you let's wait. And since you gave us this report, provide us that report. Thank you. That goes for public safety and prosecutors.
Madam AG, the report that you provided to us today can you give us a report by Friday on what you provided, the information that you provided to us today?
Yes, ma'am.
Acting Chief Prosecutor Jennifer Henry, the report that you provided to this committee today, can you have a written report by Friday?
Yes, I sent it by email earlier, and I will just update the writing by Friday.
Thank you. Director Delmar, the information that you provided to this committee today, can you have that in a written report and given to us by Friday?
Yes, ma'am, certainly.
Thank you. So with that, committee members, we will be receiving the report that was provided to us verbally today in written fashion by Friday. And to be clear, Friday is November 13th, Friday the 13th. So with that, committee members, are there any other questions? Okay, with that, committee members, we just received a report from the Attorney General of the Navajo Nation, Ms. Doreen McCall, the Acting Chief Prosecutor, Jennifer Henry, and the Department of Justice, the Division Director for Division of Public Safety, Mr. Jesse Delmar. There are no other questions or comments at this time, so we'll go ahead and I'll ask for a motion to accept the report. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Eugene So.
Mr. Eugene So, Shajab for the motion. Can I get a second?
Delegate James.
Delegate James seconds the report. So with that, committee members, I will go ahead and proceed forward to the vote. Ms. Lorraine Spencer, if you could assist us with the roll call vote, please.
Okay. It's James.
Delegate Vince James votes green. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
I vote green, thank you.
Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
I vote red.
Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Okay, Madam Chair, with a vote of 2 in favor, 1 opposed, 2 not voting, 1 is the chairwoman, and 1 is absent. Madam Chair.
Thank you for assisting us with that, Lorraine. So with that, committee members, this report is hereby accepted. Thank you. Ms. McPaul, Ms. Henry, and Mr. Delmar, you're hereby excused.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have one follow-up question, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just with respect to the report that we'll turn in by this Friday, and I expect that we maybe be able to do that even sooner. I just wanted to know if the committee is still wanting the report that was due in 2 weeks.
No, I think there was a request to just have the report that was reported today. And I think what we can do is we can ask of these speakers if we could get a update, and then it'd be an executive session, so that request can go out. But at this time, the only report that we would be receiving from you, from Acting Chief Prosecutor Ms. Henry, and from Division Director Jeffrey Delmar, is the report that was provided to us today verbally and just put in writing.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good day. So with that, committee members, we'll be moving down to item 5B, the discussing the letter to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court regarding Chief Justice's confirmation hearing. Committee members, we did receive a letter or a memorandum from the Supreme Court via email. It is confidential, but the email was sent to myself, to Honorable Otto So, Honorable Vince James, Honorable Eugene So, and Honorable Edmund Yazzie at 9:48 this morning. So this is a memorandum from the Supreme Court. As this committee is aware, the confirmation hearing for the Supreme Court Justice was supposed to be scheduled sometime, I believe it was in March. We started the conversation. The Madam Chief Justice, her two-year probationary period ended January 25th, 2018, and we were in the process of scheduling this confirmation hearing. However, we did COVID did hit the Navajo Nation, and as a result of that, no further discussions were had about this issue. So we, as a committee, have asked the question, when do we proceed forward with the confirmation hearing? How do we proceed forward with the confirmation hearing? And so for that reason, the judicial branch, we did reach out to them to ask these questions. And again, a status report has been sent to us. So do we have anybody on the line from the judicial branch?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable Otto So, go ahead.
This letter that's deemed confidential, now we're bringing it up in a public setting. I believe there's an issue there. So I'm not too sure if we should be in that same scenario, meeting directly with the judicial branch related to this matter before we air it out on public record, because you have people listening. It's just like with the last with the AG's report. There's people listening, and I don't and with that, I didn't want to present any sort of harm to the case. And in this sense, the letter came from that was provided to the committee, has issue related to personnel actions needed. And with the letter stated confidential, the individual who wrote to us asked us told us not to discuss this in the public. It's basically what it is, since it says confidential. So therefore, I think we shouldn't be discussing this, and we should set a meeting directly with the judicial branch related to this matter. That is just my thought. I may be wrong, because yes, the Chief Justice appointment process, she's over her her 2 years, and I believe we need to find a remedy on that because it requires other things to happen related to personnel measurements. And so that's just my thought before we start airing this out. And who knows, it might get on Facebook again and someone's going to say this and that and not at all. So let's try to take care of this issue, I guess, before we start discussing things that could be put out in the public. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Honorable Otto. So, but just to be clear, there was only reference made to the letter. There's been no discussion about what is contained in the letter. It was just to inform the committee members that an email was sent. So again, we're not planning to discuss what's in the letter. We just need to, as a committee, we do need to discuss how we are going to proceed forward with the confirmation, when the confirmation will take place, and also how the confirmation will take place. So that was the purpose of including that on the agenda. The agenda is, it is made available to the public. And so I don't think that there's anything that we have discussed that is confidential. Dana, are you on the line?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Honorable Otto, so go ahead.
Well, if it's related to the confirmation, if we can speak on that, I will just recommend that maybe we'll just, since we can't have a hearing and so forth, and we just have the Chief Justice reapply for another 2-year appointment, temporary appointment. The issue of COVID, and that way we can go back through the legislative process to do a 2-year appointment. That way we're not asserting because the 371 powers is what I worry about. And with that power invested with her, she's not a, Madam Chief Justice is not a permanent appointee. She's a temporary appointment for 2 years, which has expired, and she still consists and holds the 371 powers. And that authority there is only granted to her for 2 years. And therefore, I would like to go ahead and just ask her to make a recommendation that we have her just reapply and go back through the process, because we cannot have a hearing due to the current situation of COVID. But we need some sort of legislative action to continue to allow her to possess those powers. And right now, or do we introduce legislation to give the 371 powers to the Associate Chief Justice that is sitting as a permanent status, and that would be Madam Shirley, until the Chief Justice is fully confirmed. But at this time, she is a probationary appointment. Her appointment has expired, and therefore, and that appointment, she only had it for 2 years, and she possesses it at this time. So therefore, maybe we need to start looking at ways to transfer that 371 powers to an associate justice that has a permanent status until the Chief Justice is permanently appointed. That is my recommendation. That way, well, there's 2 of them in there. One is to have Madam Chief Justice go back through the legislative process to do a temporary appointment for another 2 years. The other is to amend the Title 7 transfer the 371 powers to a associate justice that is permanent, that is at a permanent appointment, and allow her to hold the 371 powers until the Chief Justice is confirmed as permanent status, or reconfirmed as a probationary 2-year status. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Otto So, for that recommendation. Do we have Dana on the line, or do we have Troy? Anybody from Legislative Council?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Dana. I need to recommend that the committee give Legislative Council the opportunity to do some research on how to handle this issue. We will try to get that research back to you by the end of the week, if not sooner. I think we have to proceed fairly carefully here. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dana. So with that, Honorable Otto, so are you okay with Legislative Council doing a little bit more research into what options this committee has at this point regarding the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court?
Yes, I would go ahead and immediately get our legal team to research that, because, like I said, what happens when it's different if it's a board appointment, like a commissioner appointment to some sort of board or commission, but you have the Chief Justice, and we're allowing her to have, or the Chief Justice in that predicament will continue to possess that 371 powers. But by law, it's only a 2-year appointment. As a regular district court judge, they don't possess the 371 powers. And that authority that she has is something that I worry about, because by law, she's only a probationary appointment for 2 years. And she still, her 2 years has gone beyond, and she still possesses those. And to me, I think that once that 2-year appointment day has expired, her powers diminish. And to me, she don't have that authority. By law, she's only there for a 2-year appointment. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, committee members, we do have this on the agenda. We have had, I believe, a discussion on this. Honorable Eugene, so Honorable Vince James, is there anything that you'd like to add to this discussion? If not, I will go ahead and call for the vote to, per the agenda, discuss letter to Navajo Nation Supreme Court regarding Chief Justice's confirmation hearing. Honorable Eugene So, Honorable Vince James. Honorable Eugene So, go ahead.
Toda ayat na the gas na halong. It more gas regards to Chief Justice Achit Ada. On shunt need ba analiado yat khotkhal khotin al khapna khitat all nasi, and as the president is the one that appointed her, I think we need to hear his case, see what he into the case. It's on the other question. So the case now, but I need it not matter or I need a in the starter. Now that's the reason why I think we need something like that. I think so, like an emergency for the 3 years. He for another yard for now. I think about I not sure because the no focus. A correct day is that they don't need a so I don't need a color shorter in the nether no go. The on change are not everybody out there. You see has the authority Ko di at ko Dana ni Sunday la ya so we can even do it today or next week at because as I look on this state branch government. So even now we need to get something done as kind of like urgently. That maybe that's much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Eugene So. Honorable Vince James, do you have anything that you'd like to add before I call for the vote?
Ich hätte Chairwoman, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, although we should not just thanks again, ich had talk ako just as I do just lettered yeah do alne not so stay yeah what be alne ako although be has on it on liniki ketas although be had it they what got it he has anje jokot then on the store that jokot ada bakako of course what ada bakaos national adolis jokot ado bansana case mleko upon the nishisi zendo kodo law and order committee bidi nanigi arson hasi tanigi o not sos linigi be iliashi nahayat kot ade asho sato be has ani nihiges ki yen hikato lo hada benan hidekito juk tashi ko tashi today do include ako ashi do da o letter a is ne do not the kitten linigi do kwagi has ani ni no chokot she ketas do she double cut do little kot ya this is do ya bahas di to le yeah.
Yeah, Honorable Vince James for those comments and then also for bringing that to our attention, and also Honorable Eugene. So with that, I think what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and call for the vote on this. We'll allow the Office of Legislative Counsel, Dana Barbara, to give us some options that are available at this point. I think that there have been a lot of good points that have been brought up. And as a committee, we are charged with this confirmation hearing. So I think that we do need some guidance on how to handle this matter. So with that, Dana, if you could please start working on those options for this committee. And committee members, we can go ahead and discuss those options. Dana, are those options going to be confidential, or are they going to be options that we can discuss at a Law and Order Committee meeting?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We will provide, I will make sure that we provide information that you can discuss at the meeting. Now, we may, in addition to that, we may provide some attorney-client confidential information to the committee members in the form of recommendations, but I will ensure that we provide something that can be discussed in public. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair?
Okay, yes, Honorable Otto So.
Thank you very much. I think I'm just going to move forth with the reappointment legislation for 2 years to a probationary appointment. Although I'm part of the the committee that has been put together to vet the Chief Justice's paperwork for permanency. We haven't met. I haven't really never received anything from the judicial branch on a meeting related to her permanency confirmation. So I'm going to go ahead and move forth with another 2-year probationary appointment, and just underline that the coronavirus is a factor, and things like that. And we really need to look at this because right now, like I said, does the 371 powers automatically go away once her 2-year appointment has expired? So that is my main concern. And right now, my concern is decisions that are being made in the Navajo Nation Supreme Court. If any attorneys start to look at arguing the case of having the 371 authority, will it affect rulings that the Chief Justice has made, that had decisions that came from that very court? And with that, it's over 2 years. And with that, the judicial branch should have been able to be on top of this. So this is where it's at. And I believe I'll just move forth on that to introduce the legislation. That way, the 371 powers are still with the once it's confirmed by the council, Chief Justice will be able to hold the 371 powers by the Navajo Nation Council, and I don't think it requires another vetting process from the president of the Navajo Nation, but we can just use the same paperwork that we utilize on her first confirmation, and we'll just let the body know that we are just extending her 2-year appointment from the day of expiration to I guess to that new 2-year period. But again, we really need to make sure that our that any legal cases that are that has decisions made from that very court, we need to make sure that their integrity is held, because if a decision is made and someone argues that she does not have the 371 powers due to the fact of her expired term, it may create a legal frenzy. So therefore, just for the protection of that body of court, I will go ahead and move forward with another 2-year probationary appointment. Thank you.
Madam Chair, if that's his motion, I would like to second that.
Honorable Eugene, so I think, I guess, Honorable Otto, so are you, I'm not really sure if you're making a motion. It sounds like you're just informing the committee that you will be dropping legislation to address this. Is that correct, yes. Honorable Otto, so? Okay, yes. Okay, so with that, Honorable Eugene, so yes, we don't need a second. It's not a motion. It's just Honorable Otto So is letting the committee know that he is going to be dropping legislation to extend the I guess the probationary period for the Chief Justice. But at the same time, Dana, I think it would still be good to get an idea of what options are available out there. And so that way this committee has a full understanding of what options we have as far as proceeding forward. So if we could still get that assistance from Legislative Council, this committee would really appreciate your help on this, Ms. Barbara. So with that, committee members, oh, go ahead, Ms. Barbara, go ahead.
No, I had nothing of substance to add. I just said Law and Order Committee, my office will get something, a full analysis to you quickly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. So with that, committee members, we do have before us we did have a lengthy discussion on this matter regarding the Chief Justice's confirmation hearing. The Office of Legislative Counsel will proceed forward to provide this committee the legal options that are currently in place that we could utilize. Honorable Otto So also stated that he does plan to drop legislation to extend the probationary period for the Chief Justice. So with that, committee members, if there are no other questions or comments, we will go ahead and proceed forward to the vote. Can I get a motion? Oh, Honorable Eugene So, go ahead.
To me, it feels like it's just Mr. Otto So is contradicting himself by dropping the legislation in regards to how soon we need the Chief Justice. It should be now, that's how I'm thinking. But I don't know how long that would take again, because I'm pretty sure it might come back to us at the next regular meeting. If that's my question. And then the 5-day comment, etc. So already there are litigations out there that are being right now. And we just have wide open right there. Only get your dog gas nothing. You get your hotel time. We don't have one. Okay, I just saw I just seen it, so but the credit out there, but I'm for whatever you guys want to be the option from Dana is.
Madam Chair?
Honorable Otto So.
Yes, I'm in the route to Winter Rock, and I will be making the request today, and I will be looking at maybe requesting for a special session to try to take care of this matter, because we have the legal system that I am worried about, and if any cases that have had a judgment made by the Chief Justice without her being with her term expired, what type of how does that affect cases that she has rendered decision on that with a term of an unexpired term? So just for the protection of the court, I want to move forward with that and to try to get it done so that we can get her back into the probationary status. And with the hearings, we have the COVID, and with our past hearings that happen, we know we have a lot of people that show up at these hearings. And in this matter, it will be the Chief Justice of the Navajo Nation. And I'm sure we will have a whole slew of people coming in to present their testimony for the Chief Justice, or their testimony in writing, whether they support or not support the Chief Justice for her reconfirmation. But at this time, just for the protection of the court, is what I'm going to be looking at, dropping in emergency legislation to try to take care of this matter. Thank you very much.
Okay, so with that, committee members, we do have a report. I do need a motion on this, so can I get a motion?
Motion, Vice Chair.
Motion made by Vice Chair Honorable Otto So, second by Honorable Eugene So. If there's no other further comments, questions, then we'll go ahead and proceed forward to the vote. I'll give you guys a few seconds. Okay, with that, Lorraine, I don't believe there's any questions or comments regarding this matter. So can you assist us with the roll call vote, please?
Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
I vote green. Otto So votes green.
Honorable Mitch James, how do you vote?
Delegate James votes green.
Okay. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Thank you.
Honorable Eben Yazdi, how do you vote? Madam Chair, with the 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting, 1 is chairwoman, and 1 is absent.
Thank you for that,
Madam Chair.
Lorraine. So you were cutting in and out. So let me repeat that really quickly. That is 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting, 1 is the chair, 1 is absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. This report is hereby accepted. We are going to be moving down on the agenda to item 5C, others. There's none. Item 6 on the agenda, old business. There is none. Item 7 on the agenda, new business. There is none. We are now at the close of the meeting. Before I call for a motion to adjourn, are there any announcements that need to be made at this time? Okay, committee members, just a reminder, tomorrow, I believe at 1 o'clock, we do have the special council session that will be taking place. Again, it will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We also have our next Law and Order Committee meeting, which is a regular meeting on November 16th. Lorraine will be sending out the agenda. So if there's anything that you'd like to add on to the agenda, please just hit reply all when Lorraine sends it out so that we all are all aware of what's going to be added to the agenda. Then there's a November 23rd, 2020 meeting, another regular Law and Order Committee meeting at 10 o'clock. And then we also have 3 committee meetings scheduled for the month of December 14th, December 21st, and December 28th. Committee members, I do want to inform
Madam Chair?
you that, yes, Hope?
Yes,
you?
I apologize for interrupting, but I do have an announcement before you finish the meeting.
Okay, great. I'll call upon you. So committee members, I do want to remind you that Sherelle did send out the journal. There are several of them. I can't remember exactly how many we have left, but I believe she's going to be sending out 10 more for the next meeting and then 10 more after that. So if you could please review those journals ahead of time so that we can vote on them when we have our next Law and Order Committee meeting. Sherelle, just as a reminder, can you send out the next batch of 10 to the Law and Order Committee? I would recommend that you send this on Friday. That way we have the weekend to review it. And then on Monday, it will be ready for us for vote. If you send it today, I think we get so many emails, it may get lost in the emails. But if we are expecting it on Friday, then I think we will be good. So if we could just have that sent out on Friday. So with that, Hope, I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to you to make your announcement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate you giving me a few minutes here. I just want to, number one, let the committee know that we need to develop priorities from LOC for all of the oversight programs that you have, to develop our agenda for the state legislative sessions coming up in January and February, as well as preparing for the federal appropriations process that begins right about the same time. Beginning now will give us some time for deliberation and putting something formally together for our lobbyists, and as well as setting up some meetings immediately with federal agencies for LOC. So if we could, I don't know if you want to add that to the agenda or how you want to start that conversation, Madam Chair, but I wanted to let you know that we need to start working on that. Secondly is, I know I send you all a lot of information. I try to mark the emails that are urgent with the red exclamation mark. So one of them that is coming up is the consultation or listening session with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Arizona on Friday. So if you plan to attend, I sent you an email with the link and some information. If you have any questions, please give me a call or email me. And I think that's it for now, but I wanted to just bring those to your attention, LOC members, and appreciate your leadership always. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me that of that, Hope. Lorraine, can you go ahead and add that to the agenda for November 23rd? This will allow the committee members to take part in the conversation regarding the priorities that this committee has to set Hope, I believe that you have documents already in place that will make recommendations of what this committee should consider for priorities. I know that you have been assisting this committee since since we came into office. You do have a list of all of the times that we did advocate in Washington, D.C., and when we advocated to our federal delegation regarding the concerns for public safety. So I'll leave that to you to put together that list and send it back out to the committee for our consideration. And then more importantly, to also look back at the times that we did have meetings with BIA to discuss some of the issues. Mainly, I know that we have been pushing for the increase in amount for public safety, but also the list of facilities that are on the operations and maintenance list for BIA, so that we can start proceeding forward with the infrastructure needs of the nation for public safety. So if you could guide us and assist us in that. Committee members, I also want to inform you that we had the Tribal Interior Budget Council meeting last week. And I learned that the BIA during the Trump administration was using the NAHASDA data plan or the NAHASDA data set to determine how much money would be allocated to tribes. There was a lot of debate on that issue. There were several tribes that were opposed to the NAHASDA data set being used, but I thought it was very interesting that that information was provided to TIBIC members on how money is determined, I guess how tribes receive money from BIA. So that may be something that we may have to ask. And as committee members, as we have been informed, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, committee members, but I believe the NAHASDA data set was also used to determine how much the Navajo Nation would be receiving from the CARES funding. So just as a point of, I guess, sharing information, that was, when I learned about the NAHASDA data plan or the NAHASDA data set being used, I thought it was very interesting. But again, there were a lot of tribes that were in opposition of using that data information. So it certainly is going to be a discussion that this committee will be having here soon. So with that, committee members, are there any other announcements that need to be made at this time?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable Otto So.
I believe that the reason why that tribes are opposing the NAHASDA data plan related to calculation of funding is that that is pretty much geared to population and to the population base, and that's the reason why that it benefits the Navajo Nation. And I believe that's how the CARES Act was determined. Part of the first part of the CARES Act that was distributed to the Navajo Nation, they used a NAHASDA data plan based off of population. And if the Navajo Nation supports the population, you know, we need to continue to support that role. And then at the same time, we need to continue to support the population ratio as we disseminate dollars onto the Navajo Nation. So, you know, that's just one way that I see that the NAHASDA data plan benefits the Navajo Nation, and we need to protect that. That's just my thought immediately. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing that, Honorable. So it just was, I just have to admit that it was very interesting listening to the other tribes and their arguments as to why NAHASDA data should not be used for distributing funds. But at the same time, it was also informative for the Navajo Nation to learn that NAHASDA data was being used to distribute funds to the Navajo Nation and that BIA actually admitted to using that. And they did make it very clear that this was the method used during the Trump administration. I don't know if there was any information provided to tribes regarding how funds are being distributed to the 500 plus federally recognized tribes were in the prior administration. But I think that information can also be used with the incoming administration, with President-elect Joseph Biden and his administration coming in to ask that question about how or what kind of data is going to be used to determine how much funding the Navajo Nation will be receiving. So it certainly is a discussion worth having and should also be on the priority listing to ask those type of questions. So with that, committee members, if there's no other questions or comments at this time, I will go ahead and proceed forward and call for the vote. Okay, with that, Ms. Lorraine, can you assist us with the roll call vote? Or I'm sorry, I need a motion to adjourn. Second call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Vice Chair.
Motion made by Honorable Otto So. Could I get a second?
I'm
Second
going
call.
to second that. Thank you.
All right, Honorable Eugene So is going to second the motion to adjourn. So with that, Lorraine, can you assist us with the roll call vote, please?
Okay, Honorable Vince James, how do you vote? Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Oh,
Honorable
Delegate
Otto So, how do you
James.
vote?
Screen.
Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? With a vote of 0 opposed, 2 not voting is the chairwoman and 1 is absent. Madam Chair.
Delegate James votes
Okay, with
green.
that,
Yeah, I got that, Mr. Chief.
Honorable Vince James, your vote was counted. Can somebody put their phone on mute, please? So with that, committee members, we do have a vote of 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting. 1 is the chair and 1 is absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. It is now 12:15. We are hereby adjourned. Committee members, be safe out there, mask up, and use lots and lots of hand sanitizers. You guys be safe out there.
Kahoo. Thank you.